Well, good morning or good afternoon if you're in the beautiful USA. I am Bruce, aka the guy in the blue shirt, or Process Wiz, as I'm known here on LinkedIn. And I have a wonderful guest all the way from sunny California. It's also sunny in Arizona today. And this is Maria. So, Maria, please say hello.
Hello. How's everyone doing?
Yeah, and where are you based today?
I'm actually in Redwood City. That's where I'm based and I live in and I work in. So thank you so
Oh,
much for having me, Bruce, by the way. Thank you so much.
sure. And for people that may not know, particularly people overseas, Redwood City is outside of San Francisco, right?
Right. North California.
North California, that's right. And then you are currently an advanced student at one of the universities there as well. So tell us a little bit about that, and then we'll go through some kind of process stuff that I normally do with all my guests. So tell us about your affiliation with the university and what you're doing there.
Cool. Yeah. So I'm an interdisciplinary artist. I received my bachelor's in fine arts from UC Berkeley. And I'm very fascinated with like digital art, animation, and graphic design, all things digital. And I got into Kenyatta College. They have an amazing program. They're amazing mentors. It's just great. It's a great community there, and I've been very grateful to be able to learn a lot of amazing tools. I've learned a lot of like about Adobe Suite, Creative Suite, these tools that and software that I haven't previously gotten a chance to work with. So it's really great. I'm finishing up my certification. I'm basically already getting my graphic design certification this May, so I'm excited.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow. All right. Celebration time.
for sure. Thank you.
Yeah. And actually, some of our common ground is around that digital presence, like you see behind me, 3D. We'll actually come back to that a little bit later on. Anyway, if you are listening in to this live stream, Maria and I actually don't know you're listening in, unfortunately, unless you actually say hello. So feel free to say hello. We will do our best to see you in the comments, and don't be shy. It's as simple as hi, or if you don't want to say hi, just say where you're listening from, and we will say hi back. If you have a question or commentary about Maria's field, then you can drop that in, and we will answer those as comments once this goes on to replay at the end of the live stream. So thank you. And so interdisciplinary art. What does that mean? That's a big old word.
Right. It just means it's like art that encompasses many different disciplines. So it could be painting, it could be sculpture, it could be collage, it could be so many different things. Like, so that's what I mean when I say interdisciplinary. That's a great question.
No, it's well, I use a lot of buzzwords in my field, and I often completely overlook the fact that people don't even know what the words mean. So I try and simplify it. I mean, my core method is actually simpler, faster, better. So I try and think about all those things in my professional, fun, personal life. It's kind of core to me. So that's part of my core processes. And then the other thing I wanted to point out is that, Maria is a great example of how she becomes a live stream guest. And you don't know this, but we went through my process called the 4 Cs, which is that the first C is I started communicating with you on comments in things on LinkedIn, and you did the same. And then we connected with each other, which is the second C. And then through that connection, we ended up talking over Zoom, and we found a lot of common ground where we could actually start to share our community. So your interdisciplinary art melded with my interdisciplinary art in 3D, even
Nice.
though I'm not an artist.
You are.
Well, yeah, some people might say, if I was in England, some people might say I'm some other type of artist, but
Love it.
AKA a drunk. But anyway, I won't say that bad word.
That's so funny.
But that's the cool thing when you find common ground during those, meaningful conversations. And so that led us to, you started to explore my community. and I'm starting later this month to explore actually in March, to explore your community as well. And it's in that community sharing that, you end up figuring out, hey, there's people here that I might like to collaborate with. There's actually people here that I definitely don't want to collaborate with. So I always tell people that, the way you become a guest for me is the 4 C's. I call them the 4 C's. So communicating, connecting, looking at, common ground or community, and then looking inside that community for collaboration. So you are a classic example of how one becomes a guest. And I'm actually honored because 70-80% of my guests are usually first timers like you. So I enjoy guiding people first time through the experience. So
You're the best guide. I just have to give you your flowers as well. It's like, you're the best guide. You made me feel so comfortable, and I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, thank you. And it's been interesting to also watch your development and growth, because even after a couple of workshops inside the Omniverse City, I can already tell by, the answers to some of my questions or some of the comments that you make, particularly on recent posts, is that, you're starting to see how your interdisciplinary art and my interdisciplinary art actually are more alike than they are disalike, which is very interesting to me. So
I love that. That's crazy.
yeah,
I resonate with that a lot because, just what you're saying, conversation, it brings, it brings a community together. You see all the common ground that you have with each other. And it's an amazing thing that you could be from different parts of the world and just sharing, your ideas, your background, your story.
right.
We will find something alike, we would definitely will. So it's really cool.
Yeah, and I think the other thing that people don't realize, it's not only transcontinental, it's also, it covers every single time zone on the planet, right? So, you're just before 11 a.m. Sorry, I'm just before 11 a.m., my time. You're just before that time. And then, it's, noon and you're 11. And then, Central Time's 1 and Eastern Time's 2 o'clock. But some of the countries I go to regularly, it's already the middle of the night. They're already in the future.
Right.
I always find it fascinating that they experience the future before we do. So it's having that, like in my space, that space where futurists or future thinking can all come back into one place. So I find it absolutely fascinating that I've met people from all walks of life, all different time zones, a lot of different countries on the planet, and I haven't moved outside my second floor office at my home.
I love that. That's so cool.
Yeah, so it's transdimensional, interdimensional, a lot of common ground there between what you seek to do and actually what I seek to do as well. So
Yes.
yeah, so again, if you are listening in, and sometimes the comments, particularly on LinkedIn, they take a while to show up, but don't give up on us. If you are listening in, say hello. I know we both invited a lot of people, so I'm sure, don't be shy. Say hi. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Say hi. I should put that in my ticker. I like that.
I love that.
Yeah, I won't try and wrap it. I've only ever wrapped one other thing before, which you'll see at the end of the live stream. So. All right. So, what are some of the things you're working on, and where do you see kind of the next few months going for you, Maria?
Wow, that's a really big question. It's like,
It is.
yeah. Honestly, I love to go with the flow with things. I'm very intentional with what I do and what I try to put out in my energy and work as well. So I trust that as long as I'm putting myself out there and putting my best work forward, best effort, I will receive whatever I deserve in life. And I just go with the flow, and if it resonates with people, it's always so crazy to me that anytime that happens. So so a big part of my plan is just to keep pursuing my passions and checking off those bucket lists, those things, those aspirations that I have. I have big dreams, big goals, and I'm very excited to like explore the interdisciplinary art world in terms of digital world, and bridging those two things. And both of those are my passions, and bringing those things together. So
I was going to say, what would be, what's maybe your top 1 or 2 aspirations that, maybe only you know, but you want to tell everyone?
wow, dreams. Some of the biggest aspirations I have is I want to be able to provide tools and mentorship for other youth as well. As when I get to that level, hopefully one day, I'll be able to help others. Coming from East Oakland, I didn't get a lot of opportunities, and in art world, I didn't get as much education and hands-on experience with that type of work. So as soon as I had the opportunity in college, I was like, I am pursuing this art degree. I don't care,
Right.
all these, naysayers. Oh, it's not the best for work. What are you going to do? I said, this is what I love. This is what makes me fulfilled. And I'm going to pursue that. And it's been amazing seeing a lot of young people on Instagram as well, people in my personal life that are watching me. And I didn't know they were watching me. And they're like, hey, I really like what you're doing, or hey, wow, you're doing a mural now. Like, it's just crazy to me to actually think that there's other people that are looking and watching, and maybe telling their children now, hey, you should look up to what Christina's doing. She's going to school and pursuing art, and it's really cool. So I just want to be able to inspire others to pursue their dreams, no matter what it is. I truly believe everyone's an artist in their own way. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because some people refer to the lookers, particularly on LinkedIn, as LinkedIn lurkers. So they lurk. They're often watching how you play everything in the stands, like like a big sports arena. And yes, it can be interesting. I don't know if this has happened to you, but for me, sometimes I'll meet people in person and they'll say, I think I know you from somewhere. Of course, my brand color is the blue, so the guy in the blue shirt often comes up, but then they'll reveal, oh yeah, I saw you interview like Susie Corey on Valentine's Day, who's or Maria Christina today, and actually February is Artist Month for me because I'm interviewing you and showcasing what you do. And Susie Corey, who I met again through the 4Cs, she'd become a guest before, but then earlier this year I got to meet her in person, and we connected even more common ground. So she agreed to be my guest on Valentine's Day and sang a few things from her past and current songwriting. So yeah, it was one of those moments. You never know when those moments are going to come, but it was one of those crystallizing moments for me. It's like, oh my goodness, like full circle. So
oh, that's so sweet. I was there. I remember her performance. She was amazing. So that was really, really touching. I love that live stream as well.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Yeah, I try and I used to do one a week, but I've actually cut back on purpose because you mentioned the word intentional. I actually want to do less, but be more intentional about who I partner with on live streams and the reason why I partner with people. So, yeah, I think part of my link between business, industry, commerce, and the artistic world is actually through the Omniversity, and it's taken me a while to realize that. so it's an interesting platform. So
cool.
Yeah, and then talking about community, it's interesting because I didn't know that you knew Emery Wolf, and then we just happened to be texting last week, and you said, "Oh, I know him too."
Yeah, it's so cool. I really, Emery is a really great person. I'm really grateful to have met him a couple of years back.
Mm-hmm.
Collaborated with him a little bit, and he's been one of the big supporters of mine, and he's always pushed me and inspired me. Just what he does is amazing, and I'm just like always inspired by his vision, by his dreams, and I really am grateful that he's been giving me a platform in his frequency event that I'll be attending next March. So I'm excited about that at the end of March to see him again in person. So it's really cool.
28th, right? It's the evening of the 28th, right?
Everyone in the Frequency Network has been amazing and supportive, and I just love their community so much. So
yeah. Well, you'll get to meet Charlene in person too. I believe she's going in person.
Wow, it's so exciting. The energy was great the first time, and I was definitely just a little bit shy in the corner, and I feel a little bit better just feeling like, okay, I know Bruce, I know Charlene a little bit, Emery, hi.
Right.
So
Yeah. Well, you know Emery, and hopefully Carmen, your sister's still coming, right?
Yes, she definitely will be there.
Right. So yes, twin sisters. They do completely different things, which I find amazing.
Yeah.
Talk about twin and opposites, right? Oh my goodness.
That's actually crazy because we are basically mirror twins. We're identical, but we're technically mirror twins. She's left-handed, I'm right-handed. So there's just so many fascinating things when it comes to the sister. Yeah.
Well, more left-brained and more right-brained as well, right?
Right. That's what people say. Definitely. Yeah. I call her my left brain for sure. For sure.
Yeah. Anyway, so she's doing her good stuff and actually working today. So that's good. So, but yeah, I know she'll watch the replay, and I'm sure she'll give you feedback.
Definitely. She definitely will. She definitely will. I love it.
Oh, sis, why did you do that?
Right. Yes. I'll never hear the end of it. Trust. And
no, you will. You're doing great. First time's a charm, right? So
thank you so much.
Yeah. So anyway, back to what you were saying about passion, and it wasn't me that said this, and I don't know who said it, but I think it was 𝐀𝐥𝐥 𝐀𝐥, who's not with us anymore. But he would say that if you do what you're passionate about, you'll never work a day in your life, and that didn't mean that there's no effort and work ethic that goes into what you're passionate about, but it just makes the time and the effort worthwhile and everything. You mentioned the word flow, and when I'm working with people, I try and get them to realize, you've got to get, I say, in a sea of friction, you got to, swim like a dolphin, right? So, if you can get rid of that friction, which is usually push, you have to push things when there's friction. And if you can go from friction to flow, everything just seems to line up better. It actually takes less effort to make things flow. And my analogy for that is that, if you had a big thick rope, you try pushing it uphill, right? You can't push a big old fat rope uphill, but if you go to the top of the hill and grab hold of it and pull it, it will very easily come up the hill with you. So that's the difference between when you're trying to push something. Pushing a rope uphill is really difficult, but if you grab a hold of it and turn it into pull, you can, and you get rid of all the friction along the way. So anyway, so that's from friction to flow is one of my sayings sometimes.
That's so cool. I love that. I love that analogy. I'm very visual too. So one of the things that I like to visualize is, I don't know if you remember Finding Nemo, but Dory saying, "Just keep swimming," was a line, that always stuck with me. And I always imagine that, like, no matter what, I'm going to keep swimming. So,
right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you raised cartoons, because some people say to me, well, wasn't the shark called Bruce? And it's like, well, thank you.
Oh, wait. I forgot about the shark. That's so funny.
Yeah. So the shark, Bruce. I can't do the voice, but he's got that very edgy, snappy voice on him. So yeah.
That's so funny. Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Yeah. So again, if you are watching, please say hi. We can't tell that. And I had a little issue reconnecting LinkedIn this morning. So it may be if you are commenting, then it's not showing up for us. Nothing I can do about that. Technology, love it. Sometimes not love it.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So yeah, fast forward to March 28th. What are you hoping to do with Emery at the event? Are you just participating, or are you going to be featured?
I'm gonna be participating in having my artwork, displayed. I'm gonna have a few select pieces that I have there, and it's an amazing opportunity just to be surrounded by other creatives and having your work out there, having more eyes on them, and it's just cool. It's a really cool vibe, and I'm always, like I said, I'm always open to seeing whatever comes out of everything. So
Right.
yeah, as long as I put my best, that's all I care about. Yeah.
Oh, you will. You're going with sister. She'll make you doing your best.
Exactly. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So talking about art, why don't you talk to us about the art behind you? That's one of your early pieces, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
you want to talk a little bit about the piece behind you? It's very colorful. So
Yes, this is one of my early pieces. It's pretty big up there, but um, it's a natural pigments. I actually ground like I did this in one of the courses I did at Berkeley, where we learned how to make your own paints and pigments. So I sourced a lot of these pigments from like household objects like blueberries, raspberries, henna, turmeric, and yeah, it's really fascinating to see that you can use whatever you have at home and make art with it. So it's just fun, experimental. That's just an experimental part of my phase of my work. So yeah.
right. Okay. Sorry, I was playing with the controls. Tried to make it a little bigger for people to see behind you. So
There you go.
oh, there we go. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's
So you mentioned that word natural as well. So interesting that you are also into a lot of different natural lifestyles, right? As well.
yes,
So
yes.
it's kind of cool. So talk to us a little bit about your passion between, things natural.
Yes, I am very passionate about the earth. I'm an earth child, like everyone is. So, I love, anything green. It just reminds me a lot of. It reminds me to be grounded. Obviously, it's more than that. It's also a cultural thing. It's like a part of me that reconnects with my indigenous roots, and I find so much peace and beauty and duality. There's also a lot of dangerous things lurking in nature, and it's just an amazing place to surround yourself around and be around. So I definitely like to incorporate that in my art practice in any way that I can, pay
Yeah.
ode to Mother Nature, Mother Earth. So, in any way I can.
Right. Well, it's funny. A long time ago, I was actually both broke and broken, and through that, I had a couple of friends, and we developed what we called a simple pleasures list, which didn't cost any money because we didn't have any money. In fact, we were negative money. So, and one of the things that came from that is that, I love to walk barefoot on freshly mown grass. Not only is it the smell, but there's just something about that, the texture, and if it's a little bit moist as well, walking barefoot on
Love it.
freshly mown grass is just like, it's what some of those moments, and it doesn't really cost you anything, but
Right.
and it's amazing to me that so many people aren't kind of aware of their surroundings at that very basic level. And so yeah, so I have actually a list of 52, one for each week, 52 simple pleasures that I used to do to keep me motivated to bounce back and recover from where I ended up. So yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. That's so deep and powerful. Oh my goodness. That's so inspiring.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't my idea. I wish it was.
Well, it's cool that you're being proactive about it, and it's a part of your lifestyle. So that's really beautiful and profound. So that's so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, and actually, I added it to one of my publications just for a little self motivation. So I have a publication that's called the Fix It Journal, which is basically the top improvement ideas that I try and get people to do, and it's like a self help journal. So with the right application and the right smarts, people can. They don't really need me; they can do it on their own, just following the journal. So yeah, those are the rewards. There's a weekly reward for a simple pleasure in each of the weeks that the journal is designed for. So
Oh,
yeah,
wow. So
that's how I
cool.
brought it together. So a little bit of artistic poetry, right?
Definitely, definitely. See, you are an artist. You are an artist. Each day, I'm gonna convince you of it. Watch. Love
Well,
it.
maybe I'm a smart artist,
Yes, yes. There you go. There you go.
Yeah, or smart A or something. It
Yes,
doesn't stand for artist, but we'll see.
that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah, so again, if you are commenting, we apologize. We can't see it. If you're not commenting, please say hi. If you see this on replay, then you can jump back in and add it like a comment, like you would a post on LinkedIn. And you can ask questions or you can redirect the conversation as you wish. So March 28th is a big event. I know that hopefully next week we'll be together again in the Omniverse City at the Owners Workshop. So that's going to be fun.
Mhm.
So not sure where we're going to end up on that, but I did actually just message Charlene and Jay before I jumped on the live stream. I'm going to actually rename my spaces. So I've decided that where the play library area is currently, I want them to rename that Collaborate. So it's actually going to be a full up collaboration co-sharing space. So I was thinking through, how should I represent that? And it's really about collaboration, right? So
Wow, that's
yeah.
exciting. I'm excited for you, and I can't wait to see it. So that's so cool.
Yeah. Well, we didn't kind of go there very much, but
Okay.
the space is there. So
Mhm.
So yeah, there's a lot of wall space for art, nudge nudge,
Thank you. Thank you.
and screens and movies, and eventually there'll be a live streaming technology that's associated. So down the road, I actually won't be using StreamYard. I'll actually be live streaming from my own 3D space, which is something that's going to be mega cool. And
Big. That's so cool.
yeah, and that we'll be sitting down at like more like a couch arrangement, like they do on some of these chat shows on the more popular channels. So yeah, so not sure what I'm going to call the couches, but anyway, there'll be
That's so cool.
there'll be a sit down spot for that for sure. Yep, and then the more that they collaborate with Fortnite Games, which is their latest collaboration, the more. Even though I'm not a gamer, I can tell I'm probably gonna have to learn. Even though I'm really, yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
You can learn. You can learn. Well, I have to learn too. Honestly, there's a lot of games. There's a lot of games out there. So
I know. Well,
exciting.
there's a car racing game which I know Richard Chung and he's into. So, and I think Charlene's played it a couple of times. So we'll
Yeah.
see. We'll see if we can get hooked up on the car racing game and go from there,
Yes, that sounds like fun. That sounds like a lot of
Yeah.
fun.
I already have a process cleanup car, so I have to get you an MD Studios car. How about that?
That sounds great. That sounds great.
Right. So how does MD tell us a little bit more about how does MD Studios actually operate from a practical point of view? How does that work?
Do you mean like 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 I work freelance?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. How's that set up? What are good clients for you? I know you post more regularly on Instagram, so I was going to kind of
mhm.
finish up with that so that you can plug that a little bit. But yeah, tell us a little bit about how do you operate? Who do you like to work with, and yeah,
Yeah,
go from there.
thank you so much. Yeah, like I said, pretty much I've been working freelance for the past, I can't even count, as many years as I could sell up art piece pretty much. If anyone asked, hey, do you do this? Sure. And so I've been freelancing for a while. I use so many different platforms. Like there's Upwork, there's LinkedIn, Instagram is a big one for me as well. So like I said, I pretty much really intentional with who I collaborate with. Now, I would say more now than ever. That's a part of the journey of being an artist. You learn, you make mistakes.
Right.
You know, you might have some clients and like things don't work out, or maybe you have projects that you're excited for and it takes a year or two to actually get them running or to happen. So there's so many things that are part of being a freelance or professional artist. But it's been an amazing journey nonetheless, and it's been fulfilling, and I'm grateful to just be able to work with people that are interested in my artwork, that are like, wow, can you make something for me? I'm always into that. So if I like working with people that have a vision, a clear vision always helps, but I also like to guide people as well. There's nothing wrong with, you know, helping someone find a vision as well. That's something that I like to do. So
Right.
yeah.
Does that involve musical artists as well, or just
I'm pretty open to working with so many different types of work, and artists like making album covers with us, music artists, or if you know, just all walks of life. If there's someone that wanted a children's book done, help them out with that. So I'm very versatile in the type of work that I can do. And it's just now, I would say this year, I've been more intentional about networking and, you know, expanding myself, using my voice. That's, I think, the biggest part for me is putting myself out there. I had a tendency to just hide behind my computer and like, oh, let's just communicate this way, you know. And but that's what I've been, you know, doing this year, is putting myself out there. So I really appreciate this opportunity, Bruce, for you to allow me to use my voice as well. So I'm putting this. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. You know, you can't stay hidden behind that monitor.
Right.
You have so much more to offer, you know, and you're actually not doing people a full service if you hide behind your monitor, when they could actually learn more about you, like through this live stream. Or so I know your main platform for at least up to date relative content is Instagram. So what's the best way for people to reach out and find you on Instagram?
Sure. Yeah. So I have my tag username right there. It's @_MD Studios _, and that's just my my artist page. That's where I put a lot of my behind the scenes work. You get to see more up to date work, and a lot of links are up there as well in my bio, so you could find me on. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so we need to make sure we do some, or you do some video at the Frequency event on March 28th for sure.
Definitely. So, yeah.
Not sure if you do get to exhibit, not sure what time you're going to set up, but that would be good also, because I have no clue how, you know, I've done different conventions and more, you know, business related shows before, but not an art show. So for somebody like me, it would be curious for me to see, you know, what are all the things that you have to do to set up and get ready. So
yeah, it's always a little scramble for me. I'm chaotic, but I get it done. Definitely.
It doesn't matter, you know. It's yeah, and actually, you said something about very early on in our conversation about effort, and you know, I had a mentor before I left corporate America, and he used to say to me, Bruce, don't confuse effort with results. And you know, and when you think about that, there's a lot of people that do a lot of effort, but they don't actually get the result. And then there's a lot of people that get results, but they get it in completely different ways than I would approach it, and many other people. So yeah, so confusing effort with the result is easy for us all to fall into that trap. So that's made you think.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. A lot of the things that you give me are making me think. That's what I say. So
Oh,
thank you
well.
so much. Yeah.
Oh, good. All right. So, yeah. So, reach out to, do you prefer Maria Christina or just Maria? How do you,
Whatever works, you know. A lot of people call me Christina. That's for, you know, a lot of personal people that know me as Christina, but Maria's more, it's whatever works. Thank you so
okay.
much.
So, is it a nickname or is it actually a real name?
Yeah, I have a long name. It's Maria Christina de la Cruz. And I'm like, wow, like how am I gonna say that? So yeah, it's my full complete name. So
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Hey, I should have introduced you as Christina then. My bad. See, I didn't ask the right question, right?
No, you're completely fine. I said Maria, so don't worry about it. Thank you so much.
All right. So, yeah, if you want to reach out to Maria Christina on her Instagram, it's in the underneath her, I guess, her right shoulders. You're looking at that. Left
Yeah.
as I'm looking at it. I'm not sure. All right. So, anyway, yeah. So if you watch this as a replay or if you were watching live, I'm sorry we can't see the comments, but just go ahead and, yeah, you can ping either Maria Christina or myself about anything related to the content in this video. And if you're in it's Long Beach, right? March 28th?
Yes, it's gonna be Long
Yeah.
Beach.
So if you're in the Long Beach, California area and you happen to see this and you actually want to come and meet Maria Christina and hopefully myself, along with Emery, aka Wolf, and Charlene Nichols, there'll be a lot of really good people there having, and it's a 3-hour evening event, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Right. I'm not sure if do we know the location yet or?
I think so. It should be in your invitation. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I haven't caught up on my text this week.
Okay. No worries.
It's been a little wild customer supporting week this week.
It's
So.
busy for sure. Well, that's good,
Yeah.
right? That's good.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, so I like Friday night, Saturday is when I catch up on my messages and yeah, try and figure out, okay, what am I supposed to be doing next week? You know. So.
Oh my god, you're just like me. You're just like me. That's so funny.
All right, cool. All right, well, I do a couple of shameless plugs here. So a little bit about me and what I do. So a couple of little outtake videos. Here we go.
You're frustrated that you have no time and you just hate it. You lost your mind. You're running around the kids and the spouse, and the business that was once your passion has got you burnt out. So, consult with Bruce, the guy in the blue shirt. He'll help you find the truth so that you can do you first. See, it's all about simpler, faster, better, so you can save massive amounts of time and money instead of longing for the day where you can finally kick your feet up. Oh, do yourself a favor. Call up Bruce. He'll tell you about process cleanup.
That's awesome.
That guy is an amazing artist. His name's Devin James. He lives in Portland, Oregon. I've met him in person. So he does brand stories for people. So if you're ever in the need of a brand story or just want to meet Devin, just let me know. He's a cool guy. And then even though this is going to be out of date because I'm going to be renaming my spaces, Devin and I kind of played with this. So don't laugh too much. We ended up creating 3 spaces which people are going to be able to see, and we ended up with spaces called connect and shop and play
You don't want to miss out, that's all I'm gonna say. The right place, the right time, the right tech. In the omniverse is where I place my bet.
Connect and shop and play.
Imagine having Google stocks back in the day when you got up on the ground floor. Pennies to the dollar, this is opportunity calling, so you better yell holla.
Love it.
I know, who would have thought, right?
That's so, I love it so much.
No, yeah, that came about because when I met Devin, we went for what was going to be a quick lunch. And I actually took him to a place in Portland. It was actually a pop-up bar on the Columbia River called The Deck. And he didn't know it was there. So our 1 hour lunch turned into a 4 hour rendezvous.
Wow, that sounds like a good vibe right there.
Yeah, we floated around the Columbia River on the thing called The Deck. And it's a seasonal bar. I think they open from May through September, and it's a popular hotspot. But yeah, we ended up video calling a bunch of people that we knew in common just to show them what we were up to, make them jealous, you know.
That's funny.
But yeah, it was fun. It was, and through that time spent together, you know, we conjured up all sorts of semi-creative, I guess what you would say, interdisciplinary artistic, you know, moments. So both of those things with Devin's help came from that meeting, you know, floating around in the Columbia River. So
wow, that's really cool. You just made me think of like how much creativity comes from and ideas come from having fun, acting like a child, you know, just, you know, getting in tune with that youthful energy and you know, your inner child is what I would say.
yeah.
So I think it's really cool.
Well, mine's deployed at IndyCar races. So
wow, that's really crazy. Wow,
yes,
that's cool.
I go back to, I regress to being like a 17 or 18-year-old boy. So yes, I'm pretty embarrassing at IndyCar racing. So
that sounds like fun.
lose all my inhibitions and just, you know, just behave like stupid. But I love it. I love IndyCar. So, you know, you never know. All right. Well, thank you for being a guest. Again, if you're seeing this as replay, you can add comments, questions, feedback, whatever. If you were commenting live, we apologize. I can't see it. Not my deal. StreamYard and LinkedIn. And so closing thoughts, Maria Christina?
I just want to say thank you so much again, and for allowing me to use my voice. And I just want to let everyone else know, you know, if you're scared, use your voice, even if it shakes a little like mine. Don't worry, just use it and put yourself out there. And thank you so much again for taking the time, and for everyone who listened as well. Thank you.
Yeah, and good job, Maria Christina. Very brave. I know it's not the easiest thing to do and first time. So, you know, if you're inspired by Maria Christina and you think you'd be a really good first time guest for me, particularly if you're an up and coming lady leader like Maria Christina is, that's my jam. So reach out to me and we'll get you on the show. We'll drag you on, right?
Yep, for sure. Definitely. Don't be scared.
All right. Okay, well, hang a minute. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for all the support and comment and everything. All right, here we go. Bye.